It is the RIOT. Here's a little bonus content for you. Nikki, have you ever replaced the battery in a MacBook Air before?
No, but Eric has.
And how did that go?
Just fine.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's changed a MacBook battery for me.
Okay. And
are we currently at a point where your MacBook Air needs a new battery?
You know what? It's actually not mine. It is a friend of mine who, their MacBook, they were asking me about it. They were like, hey, do you think blah, blah, blah? So where did he buy it from? Do you know?
Gosh, that was years ago, so
Okay.
I don't recall.
But was it your MacBook Air?
Yes, it was.
And that went okay?
I think so, if I'm remembering correctly.
I mean, is it one of those things where you're like, well, I don't remember much after the fire?
No, I just think he did. Like, I know he's changed my old iPhone. Like, he changed one of those batteries.
I remember that.
And I could swear to you that he's also changed one of my laptop batteries.
Okay, well,
now, along the line, because I have been known in the past to move in and out of laptop real estate frequently. Like, I would just get new ones.
Yeah.
But I remember him switching it and it helping on one, so...
okay, I'm messaging him about it right now.
We're going to find out real time if I remember correctly or not.
And hey, if anybody wants to, if you've ever replaced one and you have a suggestion, send it my way.
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking into that.
I used to be more scared, but then, especially when it came to like our phones, but it was a year or so ago when he changed out old iPhone batteries. Made a huge difference.
Sure.
Don't be so scared of it. Buy a kit. It's easier to do than you think it is.
Okay. Well, recommendation from Nikki. There it is.
Yeah, so podcast today.
Yeah, so today in the podcast, we talk about my phone, which has nothing to do with the battery stuff.
But a lot of people have a lot to say about it.
I'll just tell you right now, if you work for Sprint, don't listen to today's podcast because your heart is going to be broken.
Maybe they already know. And again, you could put Sprint and replace any other company. People hate every single company that they're a part of.
I for real don't know what to do. Like because it's one of those things where like basically there's no way I'm going to end up spending at least 30.
Yeah.
But then you have to ask yourself, if you're going to spend 30, should you just go ahead and spend 40
with a bigger company?
Right.
But I'm not sure. Well, you'll hear it when he talks about it.
Yeah.
So text us if you have any thoughts on that at 877-2-RADIO-U. If we're not in during that time, just put for the RIOT and we'll see it when we come in next.
Other things we talk about is that new Doom thing that looks so exciting. The press screenings for Dumbo, your bladder, and its real cost on the U.S. economy.
I can't believe we talked about that.
It's so good. It's so good. And why samurai swords are probably not a great idea.
Something to listen to.
So you guys have a great day, and we'll talk at you later.
Thank you so much for listening to the podcast.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You'd think that after all these years of hearing me make fun of the RIOT, people would have stopped listening by now. Maybe it's one of those can't stop staring at a train wreck situations. It's the RIOT on RadioU.
I'm crowdsourcing here, guys. I want to know if anybody has Sprint for their phone service and how they feel about it.
Are you wanting to switch?
Well, here's the deal. Basically my thing with Verizon is up. So I've got my phone. I don't have any service. Sprint has this thing that feels like a scam, but I don't think it is, where it's called Bring Your Own Device.
It's a trap.
I know, but you don't have to sign a contract.
Yeah.
You bring your own device. You have to buy a Sprint SIM card.
Yeah.
And, your phone has to be compatible with their network, which mine is. So you pay like $3 for the SIM card, and you get a year of service for free. The only thing that you have to pay for are the taxes and fees every month, which comes out in where we live to about $6 a month.
So then what does it go to after the year?
After the year, it's $60 a month, but you can cancel at any time.
I would just double check on that. I would just really double check on that
Feels
part.
a little scary.
It does, doesn't it? I mean, Sprint, no offense if you're on Sprint, but it always seems like the one where they're trying to get someone to join.
Just somebody please whatever.
Pretty much, like they'll do anything for that. I'm worried about that.
Well, I've been reading speculation online that people are like, hey, Sprint is trying very hard to sell themselves.
Yeah.
Which sounds bad, but they're a company.
That's what they're doing.
And one of the things they want is the higher their subscription numbers are, the better their sales are.
Sure.
So they're basically just like, look, we'll do anything to get you signed up, but they have to honor the contract no matter who buys them out.
Think of it like a magazine company approach. Like
Yes.
they'll practically give away a magazine for free because they need to show they have subscribers to then have for advertisers.
Yeah. Now, Nikki, there are a couple of stipulations here.
Yes.
I can only watch YouTube in 480p.
Oh, no. Okay, now I remember hearing about
so
this
it's
one.
like you can only watch
But
like
not on Wi-Fi.
YouTube and right.
So
but
just-
like if you're using the network, you can only watch YouTube and Netflix and stuff. It'll only be at 480p. So you can't watch it in HD, which I got to be honest, that's fine.
Yeah, well, if you do watch it, you're usually on Wi-Fi, so that's not a network issue.
I'm not watching Netflix in the car.
Yeah.
Because I always end up having to drive.
So it doesn't work out.
So it doesn't really matter.
Any other stipulations with it?
That seems to be it.
Okay.
They say during high traffic times, you could find yourself kicked to the bottom of the list. But again, what do I care? How many phone calls do I make a day? One?
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe 2 phone calls a day.
Let's see. Shane just texted. I had Sprint for 4 years. Had to walk away from them like it's a relationship. It is a relationship.
It's one of the most important relationships that you have
because of their horrible customer service.
Yeah, come on.
But if you won't need that until it's time to cancel.
Right. But, Nikki, I should be able to cancel online.
What about the Mint one we saw the ads for?
What was it?
The Mint phone from the Mint
that.
Money thing.
I also looked at Google Fi. Google Fi is like $20 a month for unlimited calling and text. And then I think you pay $10 for every gig of data that you use. So if I was smart and I did it right, I could do Google Fi and get what? Like 1 gig a month or something like that.
That'd be good.
Because, I mean, in reality, again, if I was smart, I could just use Wi-Fi and it wouldn't really matter.
So Dane says, I've been with Sprint for about 7 years, haven't had any problems with the service. And then
let's see.
Derek says he's got, doesn't have Sprint, but has Boost Mobile, which is a prepaid Sprint.
But I paid $50 to $60 a month for unlimited talk, text, and internet, and I did 12 gigs. Woo! Dane is using that.
What are you doing with all that?
That's fine.
All right, well, just keep reading some people's texts and
All
see.
Right. Well, if anybody wants
It's a big decision to make.
Nick, our news guy, Nick says, I have Sprint service. It's fine.
It's going to be just fine.
And you know what? That is pretty much what I'm looking for.
He wants the basics.
I don't care anymore because I've just reached a point where I'm like, the only person that's calling me on the phone, something's wrong. Probably. There's no chatting. What I really need is the ability to text anywhere I am. That's pretty much at the heart of what I'm looking for. And do I want internet? Yeah, because I got to be able to stream RadioU.
It's true.
So, I mean, but other than that, I'm good.
All right, well, let us know what you decide.
Okay, I will.
Send your complaints regarding that worst of the riot moment to Fire Obadiah at RadioU.com.
The lovely Nikki, the despisable Obadiah.
Is that our characters we play?
Probably. And your bladder.
What to do? Why do you have to introduce it that way?
Well, because, Nikki, these are the 3 things that are figuring into this discussion. Us and your bladder. Have you thought about your bladder? Have you thanked it for its years of service? Okay, I love when somebody comes out with some study that is really just we pulled it out of somewhere. We don't know. Pull it out of your bladder. We don't know where. We don't know about that. We don't know where this number comes from. But according to who did make up this number? Well, here's what they're saying. They say that bladder problems are costing the United States economy $44 billion a year.
How? And what is the bladder problem?
Okay, well,
what do they say that is?
I love this. Nocturia.
Is that a nighttime thing?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't.
They say you wake up in the night and go to the bathroom. And here's where I love where this just sounds so made up. So $44 billion a year is what the United States economy loses to people waking up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. They say that sleep disruption raises lifelong health risks and leaves sufferers tired, inattentive, and sick during the workday.
Oh, so at nighttime the problems make you not as effective during the day, therefore you're losing money, and we're losing money as a nation.
That's right. Oh, okay, I see here. If you scroll all the way down, you find out that this is sponsored by a drug company that says they can fix your urge to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night.
Is that like the pill we love when it takes away the urge to cough?
Yeah.
It's like this is a bladder one.
But we can't. No good. What I'm saying is, I love that little pill you're talking about.
I know, but I'm just telling you,
pearl.
there's a pearl for everything.
They're like, it's a pink pearl. Or a
bladder one.
You get different colored pearls, but it's for your bladder.
Well, I'm just always too afraid that if you take something like that and then it turns off your like urge to go to the bathroom during the night, but then it like never goes back.
It never comes back. Like,
the pearl always freaks me out too because I'm always like, what if I never cough again?
Again.
Need to cough, so it's like worrisome.
Does this tie back into you? Like, you're always afraid of the starting and stopping. Nikki's afraid she'll never stop throwing up.
Yeah.
And she'll never start coughing again.
Yes, I'm worried.
What if we break?
Because it's against our body to be like, turn that off.
What if we break the mechanism?
Yes.
I need the mechanism.
So then what if you're like, well, I never know when I'm supposed to go to the bathroom again because I took the pink pill.
So what? And then all of a sudden you just find yourself like, oh, it happened again?
I don't know.
I don't get the urge anymore. I just...
Problem solved. I mean, that's not an issue, but I want to know what that little pill's side effects are.
I'm not taking it.
Well, yeah, of course.
Do I get up and go to the bathroom at night? I don't know. Maybe. Sometimes.
Then it's not a problem if you say it like that.
It's like I'm not there yet.
It's not an issue if you're not worried.
I'm sick for different reasons. It's fine.
I just get up for normal things.
No big deal.
There are a lot of reasons to listen to the Riot every morning. For example, give me a minute. There's got to be at least one. It's the Riot on RadioU.
Stuart, man, this is a deep cut. We were talking about, the impact that Noctura, your nighttime bladder issues, have on the U.S. economy. On the U.S. economy, $44 billion a year.
Because you're going to the bathroom too much at night, and so you're missing out on stuff during the day.
So Stuart says, what about all the ways that sleep deprivation stimulates the economy? Like, how about the coffee and energy drink industries? Thank you, Stuart.
That is a good call on that side.
Nobody thinks about that. That $44 billion is not disappearing. It's being reinvested.
You're right.
Come on.
And that study's not showing that.
It's not. You know why? Because they want you to take some peel.
Wow. Okay. Like a peel? Pill. Gotcha.
Oh, like a pee pill.
No,
peel.
It does work.
Keith says, I asked everybody, I'm probably going to switch to Sprint because cheap. And Keith was like, had Sprint for several years. Hated it. Never got...
No. Don't add tones to it, okay? Just read the text message.
That's what it says.
Yeah, I know. Just... Okay, keep going.
Never got more than 3G data speeds and frequently dropped calls and lost text out in the boonies. I do live in the boonies.
I'm worried then.
But I'll be on Wi-Fi out there.
Yeah, but why don't you source around like your neighborhood and see if anybody...
other people have it.
See if they have problems.
All right, I'll tell you the truth. I know somebody that has Sprint. It's fine.
So then what is the drama? There's no drama then. Why don't you just switch?
You know what, Nikki? Here's the thing. I know that Sprint's probably fine, but I brought it to the show, and I don't have nighttime bladder issues. I brought it to the show, okay? Because at some point, you're just bringing stuff to the show.
You're just seeing if anyone can help.
You're just...
That's your choices today, Sprint and nighttime bladder issues, which you've never talked about on the show.
If you want to know the truth, I feel like Sprint and nighttime bladder, I feel like Sprint customers probably know what that's about. Okay?
They can deal with that.
They're losing out on $44 billion, so they need that cheap phone service.
True. Very true. Well, thank you, Keith, for texting as well. And thank you, Obi, for bringing these the stories that others are afraid to talk about.
That's right, dude. People are like, what? Leah says Sprint, same as Keith. So I guess she had a bad experience.
Okay.
All right.
It's the radio equivalent of going to McDonald's and ordering a fish fillet. Hey, that's one of my favorite things from McGee's. The worst of the Riot on RadioU.
So last night, while you and I were doing whatever it is that we were doing, there was a big press screening, well, probably more than one, of Dumbo.
Dumbo, is that finally out, or when is...
Well, no, press screening. So we're 2 weeks out from Dumbo hitting theaters, March 29th. Or if you want to go Thursday, March 28th for a limited engagement.
You can see it then.
So we're just over 2 weeks out from Dumbo hitting theaters. And one of the things I thought was interesting is I feel like I don't remember it really well, but I remember seeing it as a kid. I remember it being really sad. That's I don't know if it is, but that's my
Someone
recollection
have to fill
of it.
us in. Remember when we talked a few weeks ago about famous movies we've never seen?
Yeah.
I've never seen Dumbo.
I mean, I seriously, past the age of 4 or something, have probably never seen it. I just remember hearing about it.
But, I mean, Disney's kind of banking on people wanting to see this version.
I
don't want to see it.
I don't either.
Especially if it's sad. I saw the trailer, like the teaser trailer and stuff, and that looks sad too.
Well, you know what? I get the feeling that maybe they've dialed that back a bit, because one of the comments I'm finding here, they weren't allowed to write up full reviews, but, it's the whole thing where, like, you can tweet about it.
Yeah.
And then, write your review later. And so going through some of the tweets from last night, it sounds like this is both a remake and a sequel. So it does not stop where the original movie stopped. Like, it goes on and tells more story, I guess. But the general sense seems to be from all these tweets that it looks amazing, it's super cute, but that the story is, to quote Nerds of Color, undercooked.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that seems to be, and it's not just one, that seems to be like everybody's kind of Twitter reaction is like, story's not that great, but the elephant is unbelievable. Like, just shockingly cool.
He plays an elephant so well.
You wouldn't believe it.
He's amazing.
I mean, it's a fake elephant, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
But he's a really good fake elephant, Obi.
Everybody knows. And the other one is people seem to think that Michael Keaton is very good as the ringmaster.
I feel like I need to pull up a list of like the spring movie releases. I'm kind of past where I'm remembering what's coming out, so I need to pull that up.
I feel that. So you've got Dumbo in a couple of weeks. Then I believe the week after that you have Shazam, which is that
one guy.
Yeah, it's Zachary Levi. It's that DC Comics character.
That looks interesting.
And then let's see what else you got. Hellboy.
Yeah, that's a trailer right there.
And then at the end of April you've got Avengers. Like that's not a May movie now. That's an April movie, which is just part of their agenda to eventually make January the summer blockbuster season. You just keep
moving it
They
closer.
just keep backing it down a week at a time, and eventually January is going to be the new summer.
Please, if someone could text me if there was any other high-profile movies that we missed in that little list that Obi gave us.
Come on.
How does Nikki put up with Obadiah day after day? It's easy. We pay her. RadioU.
Can somebody explain to me what a pizookie is?
Pizookie?
Is it a pizza cookie?
It's like, the flat cookie, and then they put ice cream on it.
Dude, you may not have it where you live. I think we do. BJ's Restaurant and Brew House, they have unveiled the Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal pizookie.
So, yes, that's the cookie dessert.
It is a big baked like sugar cookie that is covered in vanilla ice cream, cinnamon toast crunch, cinnamon sugar, and anything else?
Looks about it. Warm, by the way. Warm cookie.
That warm cookie, I don't know if you guys know this, but if you put ice cream in a warm cookie, it melts.
Oh, it's delicious. It's like it's crying. It's so happy. It just melts.
Oh,
delicious. Don't even look at it, though.
On.
Why don't we do taste tests with that? Why are we just doing cereal taste tests?
No.
We should be doing cereal cookie ice cream taste tests.
The thing is, though, like we're going to that'll just have to be like a Facebook Live and or Riot Skips Work video because we can't eat it.
We can make our own.
Well, I mean, yeah, we could, but we're not going to get this.
Close enough. I'm sure there's a disgruntled employee who has a pizookie recipe somewhere online.
I think you're missing the point, Nikki.
It's easier to go and have it.
I don't want to make it.
I know.
I want someone to make it for me.
During morning hours, we're stuck in this room, and it's not normally giant cookie time, but we could make our own.
Ooh, boy. Can we have that? Can we have giant cookie time?
We can
you
if
just
we
said
want.
it. It feels to me like maybe we should.
If we make it for the show, yeah, absolutely. We can do anything.
Mm-hmm. Come on. So, oh my gosh, it looks so good. I want to have that. Like I've dabbled in the past, with making a homemade like cookie brownie or not brownie, but cookie sundae.
Yeah.
You take a warm cookie in the bottom of the bowl, put the ice cream on it, maybe, put some Hershey syrup or something. And I'll tell you something else too.
You're pointing.
I am
serious.
pointing. That's because I'm getting
serious.
real. I'm getting real. Now listen, many of you this morning will get up and you'll be like, you know what? I'm going to have some cereal. Do you know that ice cream is in a lot of ways just frozen milk?
Pretty much.
Do you know that if you put a little cereal in a bowl and then cover it, or no, let me say that the other way. You put some ice cream in a bowl and you cover it in cereal, Now, you've got something there.
But that's basically what you do for breakfast anyways.
I know. So why not go ahead and introduce this fun new component to it? You're having Cinnamon Toast Crunch with a little bit of ice cream.
So if you go to BJ's restaurant, that's where the Cinnamon Toast Crunch pizookie dessert is, and they're supposed to unveil more cereal pizookie flavors throughout the rest of the year.
It looks good. I like this idea of a pizookie, and I don't think I've ever been to BJ's, but this might be enough.
Could be enough to get you there. You just go take this and save that, and then just show it on your phone when you get there.
This.
I want this, and I want it right now.
I'm here for this.
Want to know what the Riot is doing right now? Follow them on Instagram and Twitter at riot.radiou.com. It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
Nikki, Hannah has a question for you.
Yeah, what's up, Hannah?
She just texted.
Good morning, Hannah.
She texted 877 to Radio U, and she wants to know, when you were kids, what did you want to be when you grew up? Was it a radio DJ?
Oh, that's a good question. That would have been good for our Riot anniversary show last week.
It would have, and if you didn't see it, you can catch the archive of it at riot.radiou.com.
I don't know what's your answer. What did you want to be?
Starship Captain?
That's not like an actual, like, what actually could you have been?
I wanted to be a pilot.
Oh, yeah.
For a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really did. And in retrospect, I feel like if I had gotten the right encouragement at the right time, that would have totally happened.
You could have done that?
Oh, absolutely.
I wanted to be a marine biologist.
Yeah.
So you can see I really stayed in my field. Just right here.
I will say in high school, I was trying to figure out what, like, we had to do a career project or whatever. So I shadowed a DJ.
Oh, really?
That's what I did. Yeah, I went to a station in Columbus, Ohio, and the Joe Show. I spent the afternoon with him on his show and shadowed and all that stuff. And when I got done, I was like, I don't want to do this.
That's perfect. Whenever you're so adamant about something, it's usually what ends up happening.
Oh, yeah, right. So,
and plus, if you grew up and you were mouthy, loud, sarcastic, all that stuff, you might just have a career in radio when you grow up.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's definitely something there. So, yeah. So, marine biology, huh?
Yeah. I was supposed to go to University of Miami, and that's what I wanted to do.
So, when did you make the turn?
I was about 16, 17. Yeah, 16.
Okay. All right. Marine biology sounds good.
I already started helping out here, and then I was like, well, since I'm here, I might as well just stay and do this.
Adam says, my brother, when he was really little, wanted to grow up to be Mexican. It didn't happen.
Okay. Thank you, Adam.
Adam, it's not too late for your brother to immigrate and become a Mexican citizen. It wouldn't be that hard. You just, maybe it is. What do I know? I've never done that before. But you could try. It's not too late. Nikki, it's not too late for you to be a marine biologist.
I know, right? I could totally still go back to school for that.
It's not too late for me to be a pilot.
Hannah, thank you for texting us.
And this is how the show ended.
The one day we realized, wait, we're not doing what we wanted to do.
Well, there's plenty of time for us to go back and change our minds.
You've got to have that moment of clarity where you're like, wait a minute, I need to go still try to do that.
The Riot is now accepting applications for a staff pastry chef. Please drop your resumes and an example of your work at the studio door, and we'll get back to you. Wink, wink. The Riot on Radio U.
I don't, know if anybody else has been thinking about this, but something that I've been thinking about kind of over the last couple of days is just getting some work done.
Yeah. It is the work week.
Well, not like that. Other people doing work on me.
You mean like plastic surgery?
Well, I mean, it doesn't always involve plastic, Nikki. It involves many procedures and things. Some that are very non-invasive.
And fillers and stuff?
Yeah, fillers.
What do you want?
Like my favorite hot dog. Fillers.
Actually, might be the same stuff.
Mm-hmm. So, plastic surgery is on the rise in the United States. Last year, 18 million Americans got some sort of plastic surgery.
Done.
And that is up about 1.8 million people from 2017, according to this. Your top 5 being augmentations, liposuction, nose reshaping, eyelid surgeries.
Yeah, for like a crease and stuff, and then sometimes like around the eyes.
Okay, sure. And tummy tucks.
Yeah.
So those are your top 5. And then if you want to talk about non-surgical, there was almost 16 million of those. That includes Botox, soft tissue fillers.
That's like, people that fill in lines and stuff, like Botox, like their lips and stuff.
A chemical peel?
Yeah.
Laser, what's that?
It's a very harsh, takes off, I think, the first layer or two.
Of skin?
Of skin.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Well, I mean, it's like a facial peel.
Oh.
And then your skin peels, which is why it's called that.
Sounds awful. Laser hair removal. We could probably all use a little of that. Just a little bit. And microdermabrasion.
Uh-huh.
So you get one scrubbed off, something scrubbed out.
Pretty much.
I think it all sounds terrible.
Nothing sounds even nice.
Well, you know what? My thought is, if other people want to look good for me, that's great, but I'm not putting the effort in to look good for you. Sorry.
And all that stuff is too expensive.
Yeah, right. That's another thing. I can't. I can't.
You just can't.
Yeah.
We don't put ourselves that together to then also add any sort of surgery or fillers or anything on top of that.
Yeah.
So what you get is what you get.
Derek says soft tissue fillers are synthetic collagen to get rid of wrinkles. Okay. Well, you know what? I got these lines in my hands I'd like to get rid of.
The only thing
here on top of my knuckles.
The only thing that's hard is sometimes we see people that go in with those honest intentions of just smoothing out one thing.
Yeah.
And you don't know until you get started that then they just go too far. And they keep going and they keep going. And then you can tell when it's someone who has had a lot of work done.
Yeah. Well,
I don't normally see a very natural looking person who's had a lot of work done.
Maybe that's somebody that's been able to hold back.
Maybe. Well, I don't feel like you can. You just get. It's like when you get. It's like when you get a tattoo. Once you start, you just go crazy.
We always see that people are like, "I'm only getting one tattoo," and the next thing you know, you're like, "Wait."
You wake up and you've got 50 of them.
What happened to you? You're like, yeah, I owe a lot of money down at the parlor.
I feel like this very slippery slope that can happen.
There's something to that.
I'd rather not start that.
Okay. Well, then I guess we're not getting any work done then.
That's a pass. Unless there's anything you would like. Non-surgery. I would like the non-invasive one.
Okay. So maybe some laser hair removal.
I'd get a chemical peel.
Oh.
I would probably do that first.
That sounds awful. Does laser hair removal hurt?
I think it does a little. It's like a little prick sort of thing.
But how much do you mean by a little?
A little, it's uncomfortable.
Okay, well, I'm uncomfortable now.
So it doesn't matter.
Let's take all of the most mind-numbing things the Riot has ever said and play them again.
It's a stupid idea, but I love it.
It's the Riot on Radio U.
Does anybody else feel like me figuring out my phone plan is more important than the show and we should spend the rest of the day on that?
I mean, we could talk for days about this. And if you want people to talk back with you, all you have to do is just ask their opinion and they've got it.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what. Let's clear through some text messages here, but one thing is really coming across. No one has anything nice to say about Sprint.
But are you willing to risk it?
People are calling to tell me, Obadiah, don't.
Don't do it.
So let's see. Bryce says, go with Straight Talk. I've been with them for 9 years now, and they have by far the best service.
I've not heard who owns them or...
I don't know. Stacy says, Sprint offered my husband and I free phones if we traded our old phones in. After a year with Sprint, I still had to pay $300 for each of our phones because their offer was false advertising.
Yay!
Adam called in and said that when Sprint says unlimited and free, it doesn't mean to them what it means to everyone else.
You liked that.
I did like that a lot, actually. Joel says...
And they wouldn't give him his number back.
They would not. Joel says, if you're willing to BYOD, check out Ting.
Bring your own device.
That's what it means.
Yeah.
And Nikki, as I'm finding out now that I'm in this, you live in a whole different world than I do. You're like,
I'm in a business.
I bought the premium phone on the premium service. When you get down here in the dirt,
it seems like very intense down there.
Where you've got unlocked phone and they're just like, whatever. That's where I'm at right now. I'm in the whatever zone right
here. It's like a rumble.
And BYOD is just something they say.
Well,
all right?
What about Ting? I've heard a few people bring them up.
All right. Let's find out how much that is. Sam says you need Republic Wireless. I pay $10 a month for no data and $17.50 for a half a gig of data.
Seems like almost it becomes a badge of honor to see how low you can get this thing.
I'm not going to lie to you. Part of me that appeals to me because I'm just like, how freaking cheap can I make this thing?
But before you get to having nothing, why bother having a phone?
Well, because I gotta have a phone.
Hey, Who says you have to?
I mean, gotta have phone.
No, what if you need to be so down and below and try that?
Okay, you know what? Don't make it like that. Don't be like that. All right.
Eventually, we're going to get to that.
Okay, so now we're looking at.
You don't need it to make calls, so
with Ting, it's looking like about $30 a month. So,
that
which
seems
is
high.
I could do that with Google.
Yeah.
And let's see. Dan says, I agree with Straight Talk. I've had it for 8 or 9 years now. Zero problems or complaints. It saved my wife and I $100 a month when we switched from Verizon, and we got more data. So that's the thing. I mean, the other thing is, like, I could sign up under somebody else's, like, family plan or whatever, but that's going to end up being $40 or $50 a month.
Pretty much. Well, it depends on how your phone.
What do you mean?
Like for Verizon, for our accounts that we're on, your monthly changes, like for how old your phone gets. So it just depends on like how you treat your phone.
Well, what does that mean?
Well, like Eric, he has an older iPhone.
Yeah.
So after the 2 years, his goes down to a certain point.
Well, you know why, don't you?
Why?
Because you're still paying for your phone.
Well, yeah, because he's not adding to that.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But unless you want to, but you have your phone with you.
I got it right here, Nikki. I'm BYOD.
Does Costco not have a phone thing? I mean, that's where you buy your thing.
That's a good one. Ooh, I should also look with my cable company because I get such great service from them.
You don't want to be in a longer contract with that. All right,
You
well,
don't?
just keep looking. Keep deciding what you want to do.
The Riot's future? 2 words. Goat Farm. RadioU.
AirPods, Nikki.
Yes, love them.
Apple sold 29 million pair of AirPods in 2018. Mm-hmm. 29 million of them.
Yes, people love them.
That's 58 million AirPods individuals.
Well, I mean, you lose some, so perhaps we're
Do
buying.
they have a thing where you can get if you lose one, you can get?
I don't know.
Like half price,
It
just get one?
has the tracking thing on it, but
Yeah.
it still has to be within distance. So I don't know. I think you just have to buy new ones, and if you lose them.
Well, Nikki, it's news today because 250 scientists from over 40 countries
Who don't have AirPods, who are angry about it.
It's weird. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Is it? It seems
That's
like
weird.
jealousy.
That's weird. That wasn't even editorializing. You're reading the same article,
I
aren't you?
am reading it just verbatim.
250 scientists from over 40 countries who do not have AirPods and are angry about it.
Have stated their warning.
No, they've all signed a petition to the World Health Organization and the UN to warn against radio wave radiation from Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and cell phone data plans.
So they're saying the close proximity of AirPods to your brain and your inner ear may raise cancer risks.
They're making it worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to tell you what, I feel like it's one of those big open secrets. It's kind of like the microwave. You're like, we shoot radiation into our food and we eat it. It's fine. What's the big deal? I carry around this little radiation generating machine. I hold it next to my body.
Your phone?
I
You
cuddle
love
it.
it?
I cuddle it while I sleep. What's the big deal? I don't get it.
They're saying that they're calling out AirPods in particular, but I guess they would mean any sort of Bluetooth.
They do.
But
Anything that you're holding next to your head.
Yeah, so I think this is a little misleading since they're just really calling out AirPods in this article, but they're saying those in particular because they sit so deeply in your ear or any other ear pods that might, have the same sort of style. That's where it can be most dangerous.
I think it's one of those things where, in general, it's not good for us, but there's big
It's so much in our society. Yeah.
It's big phones paying for all of this.
I think deep down we all know that if it's wonderful and you enjoy it and you love it, there's some sort of danger attached to it.
Well, no,
we just
let's
haven't
not
found
get-
out about it yet.
Let's not get too fatalistic now. I mean, not everything gives you
fatalistic,
cancer,
but-
just carcinogens do.
It's just not as good for you as you think it might be.
Probably not. So I guess what I really need to do is not sign up for phone service.
Well, you need to get the old school style, like not Bluetooth headphones. The ones that you just
plug in?
Yeah, that plug in.
I actually used those for years.
And then you need a longer cord so that your phone can be quite some distance away from you.
You just keep it in your pocket.
No, further away.
Yeah.
And then just, speak to your phone and tell it what to play.
Yeah. Well, sometimes
You shouldn't touch it.
Sometimes I do have, I'll go on this kick where I've just determined I'm going to go as cheap as I can. I don't even care. It's as cheap as I can. And there was, for a couple of years, it was actually 3 years, I had this pair of Sony headphones that I paid $17 for.
Mm-hmm.
I ran 4 half marathons and worked out almost every day for 3 years with $17 headphones. And I was just like, every time I put them on, they were like crusty and whatever.
Like, it doesn't matter.
And I was just like, check me out. Winning this war right here.
Good job right there.
For less than a penny a day, I've got these crappy headphones.
That is the worry. Sometimes as things get more advanced and more flashy and neat, it could be more dangerous. Andrew says, dang, if they really are that dangerous, I'm screwed. I use AirPods all the time.
Well, Nikki, I'm concerned about you.
I use mine every day.
Why don't you hand your AirPods over?
You wouldn't want to use mine.
Just give them here.
No, would someone be comfortable using someone else's AirPods?
You know what? I'll get a Q-tip, a little
clean 'em
alcohol.
out.
I'll just clean them real good.
I don't know if I'd be comfortable with that.
Well, I don't know, Nikki. You wear those headphones that everyone wears all day.
They're not going in my ear, though. They're just around my ear.
They touch your ear, though.
They're not in my ear canal. Yeah. These headphones are not in my ear canal.
Close enough.
If they are, they're fitting wrong.
Close enough.
They're not there.
You and Hudson are wax buddies.
Yes, but not in the ear canal.
No. You're exchanging earwax.
Once again, there just wasn't enough material for Best of the Riot. Actually, there wasn't any Best of the Riot at all. None. Zero. Look, it's all bad. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not bad. It's the worst. RadioU.
This is it, everybody. Right now, you know Nikki as she is, but I want you to know that soon Nikki is going to be all new.
Why?
You're going to be new and improved.
No, I'm not. I'm too tired for that. Just too tired.
No. I refuse to accept it. You are going to be...
We're just all ready to go?
Absolutely. You're going to be better. You're going to be... You know what? Here's what we got to do. You got to get fired up now. Are you going to go to the big dance this season?
Listen, I joined a new gym.
That's right.
And I'm going today.
That's right.
And Opie thinks we should be more pumped than...
That's right.
Come on.
We're doing this.
Are you coming? Because no, we're not doing this. It's me.
I've already been to the gym today.
You already done yours?
Yeah, I'm good.
So I don't want it to, like sometimes when you start a new thing, we just go like all crazy on it, right? And we're not going to do that. We're just going to be balanced, go when we can, kind of push ourselves a little bit, but don't try to kill ourselves.
Not on the first day.
No.
No. You got to give your body a chance to acclimatize to this activity.
We're going to go have a good time, a happy time, and that's it. That's all we're doing today.
Let me tell you what, Nikki.
National Pancake Day.
Pain is weakness leaving your body.
Right.
Okay, so now that's a good time. Send a weakness on its way.
I don't want to go all the way to the one side, and I'm not going, which is all the way to the other side. I'm right in the middle.
Let me tell you something, Private Maggot. You've been all the way on the other side, and it's time to pull it back. You've been eating pancakes and getting soft.
I love when he says Private Maggot. That's the motivation that I need, Coach.
I'm going to get you back where you need to be.
I'll be there at the club crying. It's like, what happened, ma'am?
And they're like, this is judgment-free zone.
I know, but my coworker...
You talking to me?
My coworker's on the phone. You're yelling at me from the phone.
Technically, he's not here, so he can judge me from there.
Yeah, he's allowed to do that.
It's totally fine. Don't worry about it.
So, yeah, that's today. I guess I shouldn't have chosen National Pancake Day.
Well, no, you go work out and then you eat your pancakes.
If they were smart, they would have pancakes there. But I don't think that's the case.
Don't they have pizza days and bagel days?
Don't share which club I'm going to.
I didn't say the name.
They do have like jars of Tootsie Rolls around. Did you notice that?
They do.
Tootsie Rolls are the worst things in the world. Why are you just leaving that out?
They are?
They are.
Do you mean they taste the worst? Like there's some terrible thing about them I don't know?
No, Tootsie Rolls are just, I think they taste terrible.
Oh, that's wrong.
You like them?
Oh, yeah.
To where you're just, that's tempting to you?
Well, okay, tempting. Tootsie Rolls aren't tempting. They're just there. I mean, like, a piece of cake is tempting. Because, like, that's something.
But they're putting them in the bowls around the gym like it's tempting. Like, here, we're letting you have this tiny little piece of candy.
You know why, Nikki? Because they're trying to remind you, you're not here to punish yourself. You're treating yourself.
That's not a treat. That is not a treat.
If somebody came in here and gave me a Tootsie Roll, I'd be excited about it.
You'd be fine with it?
I mean, I'm not going to be really excited about it.
Well, they had a lot of bowls.
Yeah, they did.
They had a lot of Tootsie Rolls.
I saw that. I noticed. In fact, I ate one as we left.
Did you? Okay, because you took one.
And I was like, you know what? Tootsie Roll.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
All right, well, that's today. That's later.
I'm excited for you. Like, this is going to be It's going to be huge.
Great.
Like, it's going to be huge.
Because of your support that I'll be able to go today.
Now, Nikki, I want to make sure this doesn't turn into like that time we were going to stand up and do the show. Okay? Or
what
like
did we last, like 2 days?
Or like that week when you were like, I'm going to work out before the show every day. So
we all do that. We all have good intentions, and we all go, a little bit happy with it, and then we realistically realize we can't keep it up.
Mm-hmm. So come on.
And you got to bring those things up, do you? All of our not things that we could not keep up doing.
Those are the only 2 things I have on you, so I have to keep those tucked away for special moments.
Sure, there's way more.
The Riot is the radio equivalent of Taco Bell meat. RadioU.
Here's the deal. And I know that this is going to sound limiting and some of you are going to be angry about it, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it because I feel like it needs to be said. You don't need to own a samurai sword.
It's a good call.
Okay?
But how could you say such a blanket statement? How do you know?
And I know you're like, no, I follow the code of the Bushido. And that's fine. You can do Bushido, but like I don't think that you should have a samurai sword, and I'm going to tell you why. It's not you that I'm worried about. I mean, it is, but the thing is that there are other people around
that are causing problems with it.
They might come in and take your samurai sword and do something with it.
Sure.
And so here we have a woman who
this girl? It was the girlfriend of the guy.
We've talked about this before. It was his girlfriend. She was going to leave him and blah blah blah, go to Hawaii, blah blah blah, whatever. She used a samurai sword. Oh, you know what? I'm wrong. I thought it was his samurai sword. It was hers.
It was hers?
She bought a samurai sword, and then she, attacked him.
I think she cut off some fingers.
She did, but they reattached him.
They got him back? Mm-hmm. Oh, good call.
Yeah, but...
I always get a little nervous, if you go to a friend's house and what's on the wall. If someone's hanging up a samurai sword or a sword of other sorts... Could be a replica or a real one. It just makes you nervous.
I just don't think it's a good idea because I feel like you can buy a gun and not use it. Like that seems like a thing. But I always feel like when people have a sword, eventually it gets used.
It comes out.
Something happens.
What was the game with the ninja sword and the fruit ninja?
Remember that? I love Fruit Ninja.
I was always worried around that time. People were just trying to do the real version.
Did you ever play Fruit Ninja virtual reality?
Did
I have that one?
I don't think you did.
It's not as fun as the tablet one because it requires actual skill.
Which is
not to say that the tablet one doesn't require skill because you should see Nikki play it. Because Nikki doesn't just have skill. She got pattern recognition. She's like,
actually, no. I really do.
You can't get a high score with this one.
I could break the pattern of it.
It's amazing. That being said,
yes, in real life,
yeah, I just don't think it's a good idea.
No, I agree. And where does one get these swords from?
Well, she got hers at the mall. It says
at the mall, like it feels like a kiosk.
Also, when you go on vacation, like I went to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, they have store after store after store
random stuff
of just selling swords and lots of movie replica swords. I almost bought a master sword like Zelda, and I was like, that's so ridiculous. I'm hanging it on my wall. People would come in and be like, look,
there's master sword.
And then I remembered, you can't put a sword on the wall. Someone's going to use it.
You're right. This is where people get these things. It's on vacation. You're all thinking and spending money you shouldn't.
So this is back in the news because she just got sentenced.
She did? What did she get?
19 years.
It's a pretty good amount of time.
She messed the guy up pretty badly. So, yeah.
You get a couple years per finger. Because I'm glad they got to put them back on.
But I mean, it looks like he's able to use his hand because, like, here's a picture of him on Instagram, like, hey, I'm moving my fingers. So, like, that's good, right?
Well, that's just riot statement. Don't have a sword.
His right foot sustained a clean cut. His left knee suffered a laceration that required a metal plate to repair some of the bone.
Ouch.
So, yeah, look at that. Index, middle, ring fingers lopped off at the base. Doctors managed to reattach them. Yeah, come on. Come on, doctors.
Good job on that, but don't get a sword.
I don't think we need swords.
Or you could get, you seen I think there's still the Japanese ones, the wooden ones.
Yeah, the bokken.
That.
Yeah, there you go. Practice with that.
Cleveland celebrates failure with a parade. We celebrate failure with the worst of the riot.
You know what I've been feeling lately? And I don't know if anybody else has been this way, but I just keep thinking over The Rock's career. You know, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And I think about the fact that he was in that Doom movie.
The Doom one?
Yeah. And I just
From
think,
the
man.
video game? Or?
Yeah. I'm just like, they really need to remake that. What the world needs now is Doom, sweet Doom.
The first one didn't do well, though.
Not just a game, but a movie.
Are they going to remake it?
Oh, yeah.
With who in it?
Nobody. I'm telling you what, seriously, it looks so cheap. They just released a trailer for it. It's called Doom Annihilation. And
strong word there.
Yeah, oh, dude, like it looks terrible. I saw that old Doom movie because didn't it have Carl Urban in it? Because he was fresh off Lord of the Rings, and it had The Rock. And I remember this was a time when The Rock was just a WWE guy, and you're like,
it was like a stretch to put him in there.
That's so stupid, The Rock in a movie. And they had a whole sequence in the movie that was like from first-person perspective.
Yeah. Like
you were playing the game or something like that. So,
hey, this says your mission is to not die. Doom Annihilation.
Hey, just to be clear, everybody, that's your mission today as well.
This is on Sci-Fi. It must be.
No, they have not.
Is that? No, this is not on. This is not in theaters.
They have not announced.
Because it's not in theaters.
Where it's going to be.
Because they're still trying to find something.
They're trying to find somebody that's dumb enough to pay for it.
What was that network where it had the Critters TV show that we talked about? Like
right.
It's got to be
Was it called Scream?
Some very
Fright?
Small network.
Well, let me
very,
see,
very small one.
Horror TV network. What was that called?
So basically they've confirmed this movie.
Chiller.
This movie.
That's what it was.
This movie is not slated for cinematic release.
You don't think it is?
It is not. So
you don't know?
It will go somewhere else to stream, but is not going to movie theaters.
You know what? Here's what I hate. Like, I like science fiction stuff, right? Can we stop making crappy science fiction and like instead of making like 10 crappy pieces of science fiction, why don't we combine our budgets and make one really good one? You know?
Did you catch the tweet though that Doom sent out, like the video game Doom? They're not involved with this Doom movie.
I actually didn't know that.
It says we are not involved with this movie. Because people wanted them to give their opinion on it, and they said no, they're not. They're not actually a part of it.
Boy, I'll bet they hate the fact that they sold the movie rights.
Yes, they do.
Somebody's just cashing in on it because I think they're making another Doom game.
They're not attached to each other.
Please stop making bad movies and just make a couple of good ones.
But
Wouldn't that be great?
You have to have the bad movies to make the good ones actually good.
You know what?
There's got to be a scale.
I reject that theory.
Why?
You know what? Because I don't need ugliness for beauty to exist. Beauty can exist on its own.
No, but you appreciate better beauty. Because there are ones that look better.
Nikki, you're bringing your Zoroastrianism to the show this morning. And
it's not appreciated, is it?
I just want you to know right now, we don't need yin and yang. We can just have yang or yin or something. I don't know.
You don't.
I could have nothing but good.
No, it's not possible because you wouldn't know the good.
Nothing but good for this guy right here. That's what I'm saying.
Well, we can at least agree from the part of the trail that I did see, it does look really bad.
Oh, horrifically terrible.
The Riot believes in truth, justice, the American way, and high-speed internet. No, faster. RadioU.
I got a couple things going on in my life right now that, like, ain't nobody sick or dying, but boy, it sure is frustrating. It's unfair, really. That's what I think it is. I think it's unfair.
I agree.
I think it's ridiculous. And I'd like to say as much. I'd like to grab those people, not by the neck, but maybe just by the shoulder and look them directly in the eye and just be like, nah. So here's what I did last night. I don't know. I feel like lately I have a harder time just sitting down and being quiet, but I was like, no, got to do this. So I took like 5-10 minutes. I just sat down and I was quiet. And I was just like, all right, God, here's where I'm at. And here's the great thing. I think a lot of times, you've probably, if you've ever been to a church or you've talked to somebody about God, you think that you kind of have to be like polite, like, dear God, thanks for this day and thanks for whatever. You can be as raw with God as you need to be. So I sat down with God and I was like, let's talk about how unfair this is, bro. Let's do this.
You're not going to make him mad by being, upset with it.
No, because here's the thing is I wanted God to have all of that. So I'm just like, here's everything that's going on in my head. And I did two things. I was like, God, this situation needs to change. It needs to change. It does. Like, and here's what you need to do about it. Let me explain to you how this needs to work. And so I did. And then, kind of once I got all that out, God's not leaving. God's right there with me. He loves me. He's listening. And then as we slowly started to work through it, then I started saying things like, all right, God, I guess if you could help me to be nicer about it, that'd be good too. I don't know. I
Working through it.
Working through it. I just want you to know today that God wants to help you work through it. I don't know what it is. And I'm not telling you, you don't have to sit down and be mature. You don't have to sit down and pretend. You don't have to sit down and be like, all right, God, thank you for today and for this food. Amen. And God helps those who helps themselves. Shut up. That ain't real. What you need to do is sit down and get real. Start a relationship with God if you don't have one. And then when you do, man, lay it all out. Get real. The ugly feelings you've got on the inside, let's get them out there so that God can help you deal with some of that stuff. And if you don't have a relationship with him, here's what you do. You just say, Jesus, I want that. I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I got a lot of problems, and I'm ready to tell you about them. Tell God what's going on in your life. Hold not a single thing back, because then he can really get involved and start helping you out.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.
You and Hudson are wax buddies.